So we're going to call the meeting to order. Nobody's here for public comment, so we'll skip that. How does that sound? So we don't have one, do we? Vote, who can't vote?
Nope, only 9.
Okay, so we don't have enough people here for a quorum to vote. So if you want to just look over the meeting minutes quick, if there's something that you could jot down for next time, but we can't vote on it today. And then I guess we will go right on into, there's no old business, so how about we just go right into the new business? Has everybody got the copy of the state framework? Okay.
I know it's small. I apologize. I was trying to save on paper. I should have did it front back.
No, that's okay.
I think Brian sent the email. It's the same thing that was linked in the email. So if you've already looked, first of all, just thanks for being here today. We're going to focus on reviewing the elementary framework that was recently, it's the MSDE health framework. Obviously, we are going to focus on the family life standard. Basically, we're looking for your feedback. Our goal is to strengths, questions, gaps, to help strengthen our next steps moving forward. The plan is, as soon as the state approves, we would like to be ready to take it straight to our board. So the state has approved the PE framework, came through. Health is next. We're hoping by mid-spring that'll be approved and be able to take to our board by April. So if we can already have this review, which we are anticipating the state framework being approved as it is in your hand. We would like to have that feedback so that we are ready to do whatever we have to do, moves we have to make, so that as soon as it's approved by the state, we can move forward at the county level, so that we can stay within the timeline of MSD. So the first thing I would like for you to do is, again, I'm sorry that's small printed, the 8 to 10 minutes just to review, jot down anything. If you looked over the link that Brian sent you, again, same thing, any individual thoughts. And then what we're going to do is break up into partner groups. And I'm going to assign you one grade with one set of indicators and give you a little task to do with a partner. So we'll just take 8 to 10 minutes right now for just individual review to look through those indicators and jot down any notes that you might have or questions that I can answer before we move into small groups.
Quick question.
Mm-hmm.
So if the state approves this as it is, what can our board say, no, we're not going to implement these still?
Yes.
And we would be able to make changes to them if we felt.
Yes, we do not have to take the exact Maryland curriculum and move it forward. We can, and that's why we want your feedback. If there's any, because that's what happened in 2022. The state approved, FCPS approved, but the family life indicators, we had to hold on because of some of the verbiage that was used in those indicators. The state took that feedback because it was not just our county that was hesitant to move forward with those indicators because of that wording. And it went back. So now you'll notice that some of that wording is no longer it was kindergarten. So the content of the indicators and the direction of what needs to happen is still where MSD and FCPS want to be. We just changed some of that wording so it wasn't as alarming, I guess is the words. I don't know what word to use. But as soon as people saw sexual orientation in a kindergarten indicator, that's where we had a lot of the red flags, even though we weren't teaching. So the question to MSD was, if we're not teaching that in kindergarten, why are those words in the indicator anyway? So basically it was just reworded so that it was more grade oriented.
Thank you for that background.
And at what points do the educators give feedback on this?
We working with them at the same time as we're working with you right now.
So like before this process that they draft this and after, or?
This process is from the state. So this is not our individual educators, but we'll take the framework to our educator or our lead teachers about implementation, where they think, because the PE one's in grade bands. So we're working at realigning with the health. It's aligned by grade already by the state. So basically we just do a crosswalk. What do we have are we going to move forward with lessons that are no longer in the framework? What overlaps? What new indicators need to be addressed that are not in the old ones? So our lead teachers are typically doing more of like a comparison of old, new, and moving forward that way.
Thank you.
Which they're already working on some crosswalk stuff for us.
I had just two things that came up as I read the version online. One was I went through the glossary and the term trusted adult.
I just circled that.
Uh,
Go ahead.
And I like the term. It's just, I'm hoping that they go into some explanation because there are some predatory people out there that look like trusted adults. And I'm not talking about anybody in the school or, I'm talking about people who may interject themselves into a child's life that are there for the wrong purposes. And
And those are the things that I would love to have when we
That's the
put up
feedback.
there. That's the feedback we want.
yeah,
Right, so if that's not something that MSDE addresses, we can
Yeah.
address it at the systemic level.
yeah.
If we want to get, a definite further, we did the same thing with the explicit media, like getting a more in-depth definition for our county.
Yeah, the second thing was the term of gender assigned at birth. Gender is determined when the sperm meets the egg. And so I didn't want them, once they start getting into the science part, the biology of it, to get confused about, this isn't something that is somebody's decision. This happens, you don't even have enough brain cells at that point to decide, you know what, I'm not happy with this decision.
Mhm.
And I didn't want them to, once they get into the biology part, be confused that this is, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Because the biology is the biology and we can't change that part. It's just that, so if questions get asked.
So you're saying that the assigned at birth is the part that you don't
Yeah,
like?
I
got
don't,
you.
I think it's inaccurate.
Okay.
Medically, that's what I'm here for.
Well,
It's gender versus sex. So sex assigned at birth would be a better terminology
Yes.
to use rather than gender.
Okay.
Because
Is there something that says gender assigned at birth?
Yeah, I was trying to see the find that too. I
It
didn't
was
see that.
under, it was in the glossary too.
Oh, the glossary.
It was in
Okay.
the glossary, it was in the glossary.
Framework.
Gotcha.
We're getting ahead of ourselves a little bit. So if you want to go through, is this the 8 to 10 minute? First of all, I'll introduce myself. My name is Kathy Gall. I am a director of curriculum and instruction, and I am just sitting in as a non-voting staff liaison for Brian while he's out this week. And you are in the very capable hands of Jess. So makes my job very easy, which I greatly appreciate. So my question was, this is the 8 minutes of review, and then you're going to work in groups to give that kind of feedback? Or are we
okay.
doing whole group feedback? I
don't
just
know.
was confused about the process.
This, right now, just individual, I don't mind answering those little questions, but we are going to do breakout of each grade. I'm going to give you guys some big note-taking
Okay.
sheets. My plan is to get as much feedback as possible. So if you want to hold those questions to see, so then when you're in your small group, some of the questions I may not have an answer to. Some of them may be, depends on what the state decides. Moving forward, I'll do my best to answer questions, but most of this is just, like you just said, can we look at that definition? But right now, I think just looking over those indicators and noting any of those questions that you have right now. We'll come back to it.
Here, I can pass them out with you.
like the part about the difference between consent and personal
Like a
boundaries.
set of 2 people.
I thought that was really
So
good.
they each get an indicator and then a list of the questions. And then I'm gonna go on marker and then. Thank you. 2.
I'll sign it.
You two can take that one.
Okay.
We have a Venn diagram situation. You want
I can't
to
count
No, I did these two and then,
because I can't count apparently.
Mr. Habit?
okay, we could combine it.
That's okay. Yeah, group of 3. Can you just hop in there? Yeah, that'll work.
Have,
I think that was the intent.
have,
I have.
No, there's 2 of you.
Yeah, there's 2.
I know.
A minute, it's okay. I'm like, why do we stop the It stops and then comes back.
That's what happens. Third and second should be together because there's only 2 third grade indicators.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
At this age, from
There it is. And if you could just hop in, we'll just do a group of 3. There we go.
Great, very
My
good.
fault, my fault. I knew that because third grade only has 2.
Very capable hands.
Very capable.
just. Thank you.
Hopefully these work. I did not test them. Yell at me if your workers don't work and I'll.
I guess it won't be.
Probably won't work.
Why, you got comments?
Give me that at night.
I did not test
A
my.
lot of comments. No, we're joking.
Anything you want on your paper.
We got to color.
So, I'm gonna go ahead and, you have them, they're the same questions, but I'll go ahead and put them up here as well.
First question. Or do we just want to?
Shrink it down a little bit.
So we're just writing the comments, that's sheet, right?
So when we're done, first we're gonna do, we are gonna do a gallery walk, so everybody has a chance to look at everybody's notes. I'm going to be collecting the big pieces, and I'm gonna be collecting these.
Okay.
So any notes that you want me to have, I figured it would be good on this one because you have space to write right next to the individual indicator. If it's a broad theme feedback note, can go here. I will be collecting all of these and all of the big ones. So feel free to take notes on either. So we're in partner groups, group of 3. Just asking you to review the indicators that we gave you. Questions are on. I believe I gave everybody a list of the questions. You do not have to go through and specifically answer every single question for every indicator. They were just questions, kind of just to get that ball rolling.
Just pre-K.
Some of the questions don't
Just one.
immediately apply to every single indicator. Right, clearly, like I said, I'll 15, 20, let's do 20 minutes. After 20 minutes, I'll check back in, see if anybody desperately would love more time. Otherwise, we'll come back together, take a peek at what everybody had to say, and then we'll just do a discussion on the elementary as a whole. Sound good?
You have a good marker.
All right. Say yell at me.
So
Just starting here and working.
Families, different families.
I like.
I do.
Good one, we have a good one.
Oh, did we? Oh, found one. Good, good, good.
Great job.
Okay.
Each, all the right. After,
The only one.
yes, the family, kids expressing themselves. I was gonna. We had like, I know there's some good, some fun books. I think it was like, maybe last year, 2 years ago, that books were just different types of families.
Yes.
But I like this too, right? You're asking the kids to identify what's special about your family. I think that's good.
And identifying supports.
Yeah.
Yes.
Family relationships.
Yeah, I think we got the medically accurate names. This one, okay, big one. So if you're writing the big one. Yeah. Right, so.
Okay, yep.
Divide it or private.
Yeah, this is very.
Fine. I guess my question would be here is how finding.
Oh, yes.
From my own sake.
Yes, yes.
I know they go.
Yeah, what's the depth of the, how do you identify, how do you medically accurately identify?
That's
Right, because it's, sometimes it's like the parts are under a bathing suit, that's not
Yes.
medically, it's not describing anything medically, it's the accurate way, it's just saying. So, question, yeah, what it's not a problem, yeah, what definition are you? You're right.
You're good. Yeah, sure.
Make healthy choices.
Oh, I know. And then I don't like the word.
I think that one's fine. That's what we call them.
Caregiver. I usually say parent or.
Sorry, okay, so.
Yeah.
In the case related to awareness of sexual abuse, has the personal boundaries.
Trusted adults.
Well, I think at this age, it's kind of the definitions thing, right, like,
So,
I know typically,
like ensure that it's.
Yes.
and you don't have to allow people to take your space, or you can tell people to out of my space. But yeah, I'm like, what is?
Yeah, and I like.
I would want more detail.
Yeah, yeah.
That, and that, I don't know what that looks like.
Right, yeah.
It's not.
Because I mean, it makes sense. Like at this age, it's a little bit. We see it get more specific as it goes on.
Like I know my granddaughter, my had some issues. And she was told, Uncle so-and-so, they don't tug it. And so they're saying for me, it's her.
Yes, right.
If she wants to kiss her. So that was like a shock because I was also Uncle Joe comes in.
Yes, I was so
We'll
excited.
hug and kiss.
And I hated it. And I remind myself
And
of
that's what
that.
I haven't seen
Yes, yes, right. And so, I'm trying to think of what I want to say.
Oh, they are so aware.
boundaries.
It's good. I just have everyone has to that verbiage and it's but I think that as a standard is good.
At that age.
Yes, for that age.
And again, it's one of those things where like I would want to see like how you're teaching it, but
Yeah.
what
Interesting.
She already knew.
Already.
Yep.
Yes.
For some kids.
First are sneaky. I mean, let's just be clear.
It's just so expensive, it's good.
I know some pushing against, you know, it's no, their radar's on.
Oh, yes, all the time.
And so, for them to respect their own radar, how do you?
Just a little side note.
Well, it's easier, I think it's easier because it's
I love it.
Are aware.
when the doctors struggle. She's like, I don't want to go in. I'd rather you be that way.
Yes.
You gotta,
Yeah.
it's like push you hard and then, I mean, it's most of that was her.
Yeah, no, that's her.
Personality.
Yeah.
But we're also very big on like, you don't tell anybody.
Yeah.
You don't do anything, to be honest with you. And so,
Yeah.
but the doctor's office was funny because she's like,
Yeah.
like, but you have to speak it. And she's like, I don't want to protect nobody.
Something that they trust.
But that's, I think at this age,
You're not like that.
they have that instinct, but I think it's about how, I was interested in how they talk about it. I'm curious as how they translate that
Yeah.
for the age. Because when you get into the
Yeah,
villages,
right, it's
it gets
pretty
more
clear.
specific, and we talk about trusted adults and all that stuff. But I think the boundaries one, I want more detail, but this one, I'm okay with that one.
Okay, I feel like I remember you saying that, I remember you
They're saying you have a right to tell somebody,
That's a lot. It's like,
whether or not that's
yeah.
Yes.
their personality.
But
Yeah.
Does that make sense? That's how I look
They
at
have
it.
a problem.
That's my, I know, that's kind of my point, like, this to me is just telling you, you can say, no.
Yes.
Don't touch me.
I'll tell you when.
All right.
Whether or not that makes sense in your kid.
I know.
Your kid, you're 4 years old.
Right, right.
So there's that to go.
So I think it's just these, that I think
Yeah, I know.
slash,
Right.
see,
This age,
I think critically when they're junior.
right,
We are anyways.
well, I think, right, a couple things, right, so we
Yes.
go across this, right, identifying what's special about your family.
Baseball heavy.
No, that doesn't.
We're just writing the things we want to happen.
Right. Why aren't we talking about it?
So we're fine with it, we're not saying anything about
Right.
particular item. Each other, that probably will.
Yeah, I hope.
Right, because if you're asking people what's special about your family.
I don't think so. I even the
Not
whole
everybody.
big time. Oh, I
Maybe
Yes. Trust is so.
She's hands off. You know, it's always like running up to your.
Or also even just recognizing
A couple schools doing things that I probably could do it, but
you're being kids are,
yeah, it can't be.
they're awesome, like, you know what I mean? So it's just,
Yeah.
see, you know, these things, but, right, that discussion that causes them.
Yes.
doesn't respect.
Oh, what time? Right, right. As well. So this is a document.
I mean, I think the consent, as much as they can, at
Yeah.
this age,
Yeah.
the items that should be.
Yeah, this is what goes to the state.
should we say that?
Yeah. So pre-K doesn't have the 3 skip this. I feel like that should carry, yeah, I'm like, I think that should start in my thing, pre-K.
Yes, me too.
Like, oh boy. Yeah, and that's sixth grade. Like, so if you know, you talk about it in fifth.
I think with it.
You
So
know,
much.
either Japan or China,
Yeah.
their whole first year school set,
They're
And caring
and
brothers.
caring.
It's so clear.
Kindness is right.
definitely the important.
So they start in first grade.
Sweet.
Next pre-K.
I wish it would say, and it connects to what's trusted.
But it is. I don't know.
I don't really know what the real, I don't love the and.
Yelling at her one day today.
And I'm not a, you know.
No, I think it's like
the name them. It's right. It's just. Here we go. Not knowing the garden again. Like, sets them up.
It sets them up, and if the repetition
Is there.
Yes.
Yes.
Right, it's like, I have one reason to.
Repetition, is it like that? I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
Kindergarten.
Yeah.
Same thing. Remember, like once upon a time.
No, you're not related to this.
No, she's heard just say the other day how age appropriate meaning class. Yeah, you were in.
It's funny because my daughter, she's had braces and she's had glasses. Nobody cares. She's like, nobody cares about that. That's funny. He's right here. You know? There's a lot of adults.
Maybe they should.
But they decided they want to.
Yes.
Yeah, 'cause she was like,
Yes.
nobody cares about that, Mom. And I was like, well, good. I'm glad. And she's like, half my class has glasses.
You know what? What I went to do after the other day, just to decide, she said, glasses because
They're looking at screens.
they just screen and their eyes aren't good.
Yes, they're not
It's just
practicing
gone, yeah.
enough. And it's so ironic. She doesn't even teach them.
Anything else for them?
Probably in the airport anyway. But she's also here. So I asked, like, her, looking at screens, and I'm like, she's actually not. She reads a lot. Well, she reads books a lot, and she
Okay,
does.
there you go.
I'm like, she's not on screen. But she is cold and supple.
I just found that.
It is, but that's why he mentioned it. That's why he asked. He's like, that's what most of it. Yeah, most of them. That's what's happening. Most of them look at screens too much, and they hold it so close to their face.
Yeah.
Very.
Synced.
Yes, I think the private is the same comment about the. I mean, I don't think we need to change anything about the private part.
Another breed. I get it. I didn't get along with them first. They were younger. Now I'm they're not appropriate. They're grown up. They got along. Well,
Thank you.
what is the younger? Private, correct. She's concluded. She's herself.
Teacher, she had twins, boys.
My mom.
Kind of a.
Because it's
Karma.
He's
When I was leaving everybody talking about someone who's
What's the definition?
ability to parent.
like, do you ever?
Yes.
That's a whole conversation.
Okay, maybe she gets it honest.
We had a.
He said.
Yeah, I feel like.
I don't know.
I love it.
And she had the last.
This is a valid.
Because I didn't.
Right, or acting right now.
Yeah, no, there isn't a giant back. There's one big sign. One the first makes it possible. Where she is, like, great. There's a little.
She's been in my room.
Oh,
Baltimore. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Because yeah, she kept going saying,
Well deserved.
What we share with you.
I love.
Her and I go to the.
yeah.
More paint. She must have like really good documentation.
Yes.
I think that's a good one.
Being weird. I'm like, you guys be looking, what are you doing?
So much writing.
But yeah, like, also initially when I didn't realize they had.
I've got most of them.
I was like,
Yeah.
I think it's like this.
Yes.
I was like, I'm sure it's easier to maintain also.
I feel like calling out.
Just first grade. Just a kid, carrying over. Right, this one is recognized,
Yes.
and now the next one is identified. I really don't. Why is it only in first grade?
Now I have to address this.
That does seem.
But that to be iterated.
I think that's.
I love my kids.
Not very.
I do.
It's a health thing.
Any indication for that?
Health
I
thing.
think they had mentioned that
They had
for
that.
first grade. I heard you guys talking about hygiene.
I changed the.
Okay, we're also for kindergarten, it's like.
Yeah. We used to have to put little pins out, make sure our fingernails were clean. Have Kleenex or a hanky.
But yeah,
That's where I'm wondering if.
that belongs somewhere else. Is that going in some other curriculum?
That's where I wondered if they just.
I always have the hardest time.
That would fall under.
People in flag, gotcha.
I did laughing at their reaction. I needed to change it. Like, it was a neutral thing.
Physical safety.
Fair.
So terrible.
Yes, we can ask the questions.
Yes.
Yeah, like the height, which I know they talk about.
It's like the 5 year, right?
Measure people.
There's nothing in here.
Okay, maybe.
And that same.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's-
No,
don't look at me.
It might be, but it might be a different.
Kleenex or sneeze, you know, covering.
I think, but yeah, I think that would be a different curriculum.
Washing your hands.
Yeah.
Hopefully, your mom and dad have been doing that.
But yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay.
Okay, all right,
So
so I don't know that I
anything
think.
Grab the individual groups. Talk about.
Let me see what's in first grade, though. I'm just gonna look at first grade. If there's anything to describe.
This, yeah.
And
this
this
is
also-
also.
And that's
probably things that should be moved on.
Am I rating on? I think that's fine. I don't know what that means, but they already got that. The strength of family.
That was.
No, I don't think so. Talk about. I think that was just.
Yeah, see.
Yeah, just because like it's, so pre-K says identifying.
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
And I think that stuff.
And then it comes back. Everyone.
Now it's yes. Okay,
Yes.
so that's not a big change.
No, not at all. Change the perspective.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think that's.
I'm kind of curious, like, when they, how they decide, like,
It's just like.
Yeah.
this grade. Why
we just skip it?
the projector to turn on.
Yeah, because the other two build each other, right? Like, you got the
Right.
body parts and
Yeah.
the boundaries. Ask why, really.
Introduce.
I'm just gonna call it a 30.
I think I got it back on.
Or I guess you could say the numbers.
Yes.
Just make it short.
This one is.
Awareness and prevention of sexual abuse and assault.
This I did have, like, this was to make up a perception.
Identifying medically accurate behavior that is discovering their function.
Oh.
I trouble, like everyone hears.
Oh. I feel like this might be hard.
That was always the part. Stressing that.
Kindergarten.
All right.
I mean, I know so many sexual. It's funny because they just did fifth grade in school. And me life. It's just. So she's on. I talked.
Yes, yes, yeah.
It's gonna take.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm working for this, so we learned about this early. Teaching, yeah, I think it's good.
Excluded.
Do you have to
Mind and then
separate them?
I honestly, part of me feels like we were together.
Big deal.
Yeah, not grade, yeah.
I'm still young, I'm still young.
I think it's
Home ec.
stand on
It was in home ec class. What do you think? They just,
We had all the girls line up and we went down,
some secret hallway.
well, downstairs and they showed us
like an in-depth description of what's next.
Thank you for
Like, like we're never going to do that in school. Or with things looking at like,
that hygiene. It's not. We came back all giggly because we had our little pink bags.
Right? It's very exciting.
It is, all right.
no.
No, please don't. Don't degrade yourself in that way.
I try to.
Not that we wouldn't have Invincible you are.
Coming along.
So you come in the bedroom one. Yeah, I don't think we. I know there
Two. All right, let's take another minute, finish up. Is that gonna be okay?
I just, maybe we.
I
I don't know. Yeah.
And I had the same thing. I had learned about
This week.
Okay.
They're just,
So today, when I walked.
they're just a clue.
Oh, yeah, we didn't have that.
What did I do? It was like, mom,
Yeah.
I can't.
It's already.
I don't say about
Nice. There you go. Exactly.
It's about the red.
Necessarily.
Yeah, exactly.
There we are.
Who knows?
Needs to be.
I don't know. It was a little meta for me, actually. It was a little-
It might be.
Watching Big Brother Watch Us.
That's right, that's what.
That's what.
A little extra.
Yes, but they changed.
All right, markers down. All right, what I would love for you now is to get up and stretch your legs out. If we could spin all of the big papers. What we're gonna do now, if you wanna grab, I put some extra markers around so everybody should be able to grab one. If you wanna walk around and look at everybody's notes, what I'm asking you to do is, one, if you read something that you're like, yeah, just put a check by it or a tally, just so that we can see that, hey, this is a high agreeance feedback. I will be taking notes when we do like a discussion. So I believe Rachel asked about if I had a question about an indicator from a different grade. When we do come back to full discussion, if you had another question about a grade that you were not working on, I will take feedback on it there. Or feel free to jot onto their big Post-it note as you're walking around. So if everybody wants to come to the inside and take a look at the feedback that our group members have provided.
So proud. Look at, we're all moving around.
No, that's why I moved. I don't.
All right, get it.
I'm gonna back.
Yeah, no thank you.
All right, so we just need to get things we need. All right, so first grade.
Yes.
I know.
Easier for me.
Yes, I had that question. So, but that doesn't make sense.
Yep, students did all of them.
Yeah, it was Oakdale High.
Yeah, Oakdale High School.
And it's like travels, so schools can request it to have it sent out.
What are they referring to?
Been at the library, we have been in some other public places.
I'd seen pictures of it, but
This is the Oakdale High School.
Okay, I was
No.
gonna say they're back.
Yeah.
They just kind of.
No, that's actually not my problem.
One of my students, so it's like 2 years ago, because one of my students from Oakdale.
That's a big league.
Just to do this with.
Oh, shit. And I'm the ones in a movie.
Oh.
That's the rule.
Yes.
Thing.
Yep, second grade, so. Yes.
Okay.
I'm also check.
Oh, God.
Oh, sorry, that's right. Repeat, yep. Give me a check too.
I like that.
Yeah.
Two, recognize. Oh, okay, I think this. Something can't.
Oh,
Darn it,
correct.
recognize.
Right.
Didn't think about that.
Ah, I see.
It's only what I do.
So adding. This is the second one.
Okay.
Recognize the importance of bilingual social inclusion on as much as everyone. Basic, I'm saying, seeing is also what's it like when someone isn't gonna
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Okay. I should have presented you.
Yeah, what you, yeah. Because this is the one where it says,
Right,
explain
describe.
how onset of progression, oh,
Oh,
sorry,
I see.
progression of puberty.
Putting it together. And we really just take that out.
Oh, I see, yes, yes,
We would like
yes.
just take that out and say describe menstruation and then have
Right.
another one that describe
About
the
puberty.
physical,
Got it, yes.
social,
I agree,
emotional
I agree.
change. Because otherwise,
I didn't even, I didn't even read it that way when I,
Right.
yeah,
I'm like, why
just for
would we-
you. Just for you.
Yes.
go through lots of
You okay
emotional
with that?
changes.
I feel like sometimes more than, but anyway. You got me?
They don't have any of these.
No.
Yeah. You wanna write that on?
Yeah, there's none after second,
Yeah, I'm
after
interested,
first
I'm just
grade.
interested in general to know like how they decide, like, we're gonna skip something.
After-
Yeah.
Yeah. Scrolled across this thing and I was trying to see this.
It's actually like. Just time to pray.
So maybe we consider some, I actually was literally just talking about this today. If you teach me, hey, you're going to administrate every month. Why? Yeah. Why does that happen? Why does that need to occur? So you kind of have to get into some conversation about what the purpose of what this is.
Which is the
reproduction.
Demonstrate different to interpret gender.
For us, this could just generally be literal having sex.
Biology.
Cause pregnancy.
They're all individual. It's indicator-based biology. We talk about intimate sex in fifth grade. We talk about penis, vagina, and equal. That's
Okay,
So that's
yeah,
just.
that's okay.
Regardless.
Because
This is for you where I'm saying. That's me.
No, we want
yes,
Just the word.
this equals, yes, this indicator will be in with the menstruation, and that we actually, puberty.
yes, right,
So
yeah.
it all kind of, all of those indicators would fit in a 1 to 2 day, 20-minute lesson.
For internal and external genitalia and their bowels.
Yes.
I don't think
Yes.
we need humor.
And if they want the definition of sexual intercourse, it will strictly be, we are not talking oral, anal, vaginal in elementary school. We're talking the biology of male, female DNA, what generates a baby, the reproduction aspect.
You don't need human.
Maybe they,
If we're going to do that in first grade, it should.
Yeah, and then there's nothing.
It does say genitalia internal and external, so I think that does
Yeah,
cover.
that covers it. I don't,
It's kind of hard to separate.
but I don't think they need that differentiation.
No, I know.
in fourth
I know.
grade. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I'm kidding.
Usually by eighth grade, I'm like.
So it'll take about 2 more minutes.
Oh, and I'm like, now is the appropriate time for us to differentiate, like you should know your own body.
Having sex before the baby.
Things are gonna happen, it's a lot.
Right, some of them are still being, all the babies come from
Nobody's asked your
the
question.
stars. Right, so they'll hear illustration and never connect, like, the two are related.
Let's see, where we at? Like grade.
Because that is weird.
It is.
Because I didn't have first.
Well, because I had second and third grade. I was like, why is it not?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right,
that-
yeah, I was like,
yeah,
that
that
was
was
my
a really
question.
good
I'm like,
point,
okay, that's
like-
gonna be awful.
Yeah.
Traditional gender norms are actually,
Yeah.
we start undoing traditional gender.
It's your parents. But you can try.
Actually creating more. So that's my biggest point, that you, and not explicitly say
Put something down somewhere.
versus.
Well, that's what I was trying to,
But
yeah,
really kind of
from the
helping
way it's
people
stated.
Which one?
We're talking about, this one. Not that one, sorry. The one I talked about earlier, eating crazy.
Right.
And expressions, I guess.
Say that would be good.
Yeah. Because then, because I guess what's the different context?
In first grade, I guess we don't need dignity.
Other than.
Over here, they're like, repeat it, I'm like, yes, of course, like, why isn't it every year that we talk about
Be
this?
at least one standard every.
But that
Unfortunately.
Specifically
Yes, so is this?
As opposed, like, this is to.
Yes. That's what I was getting at my question.
Go play basketball, you know. But if they weren't as, then the boys got mad.
And also, how does this relate back to everything else you, right? Like, because if you start with kindness.
Yes.
In pre-K and then you jump to, we'll talk about it.
Second grade, we're not talking about any of that.
Right.
Third grade, we're not talking about any of it.
Exactly.
Fourth grade, we're not talking about any of it.
And so, and then I'm like, how do we, that's my thing, is like, how are we, I just want to make sure, not that everybody's being kind of like,
I know.
we're talking about markers, what are all, is that the only one? What are the rest of them? Right. Treat everybody with kindness. Yeah, that's what I was getting at, the difference, because it could be family structure, it could be race, it could be gender, I don't know, a disability.
Shocker, you could learn.
I was doing it too. It might be like wonderful.
I know, exactly. So that's what my question is really like,
I think, yeah, a lot
are we
of them.
building on a concept, or are we just saying,
Yeah.
hey, let's make sure
But
you
why
treat
this
those.
once per year? Couldn't it?
Right.
Yes, regardless of gender.
That's what, yes.
We're not gonna tell you what gender, but regardless of it.
Yes, yes. And at that point, and that's what,
She
like at that
actually,
age,
my
are you
friend,
introducing complex topic? How are you getting the lesson?
she was like, I'm a personal shopper. Yeah. I was like, and then she told me, she said, I've got to stop you.
Get the lesson.
I was gonna say, a lot of these,
Because
I can't answer without a lesson. You know, like, I have, so, these are very cut and dry, you know, so.
And I get why they have to be. at this
Absolutely,
level, but
yes,
yeah, it's
yes,
hard
for
to-
sure. I feel like identify, figure out how to try to get out there to make scratch and check on them.
That's what.
Oh my
And I would take my kid.
I know. I don't want to be updated this time.
just want to grab my water. You can totally feel
You want my green?
Said, no,
And then it happened in 2017. Remember?
I don't know, I wasn't in this position.
And then.
I was a secondary PE teacher at that time, so I have no clue.
So far above.
Oh, the screen.
Oh, Jen.
I keep moving, I keep moving.
In this, because we have identify family, identify what a family is, identify supportive behaviors from the family, and then we jump to this and adult.
Yeah, ours is identify parent and other choices. So, and we like. Yeah. It's in your current picture.
Not the same.
Regimen.
Okay, that's fair.
I think
That's what, and that's what I mean, like, is that sort of, because I think up to this point, family. So should, right, should the concept be introduced?
Where if I have to go in and get
Get
it.
it, you can.
And then. Because the steps were like.
Yeah.
We're gonna
Now,
have.
is it,
Besides me and
You
your
name 5?
parent and your stepmom, so I named them.
yeah.
Yeah, I was talking to my kids. I was talking to my
Not for
5
bad reasons, just like I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I was talking to my 5-year-old. I was like, can you guys tell me?
I teach,
like a couple other.
No,
parents
I teach
talking. And they're like,
you can just really walk.
it's Uche's dad. And it's like, we're not. What? And it's like our neighbor, his dad. I mean, I guess. Like, I guess. I can't get it, but I don't know what. I never see him. You know. I mean, sure.
Like,
They're like, I mean, outside of school.
and that's the thing, I'm like, they don't even, she didn't even think of.
Interactions with the teacher. Yeah,
To go, they stay with.
that's not. It's like when you're a kid and
Yeah,
you're
it's
a teacher at
not
like Target. You're like, oh no, you're not
like
somebody.
in elementary school.
Yeah.
They want, like, I don't know why they are like keep feeding, and I'm like, we're not.
No.
What you need to know to be successful and what
I
you
think it should be connected to.
development, extra stuff. That's extra.
I lost it
School.
years ago. I don't know.
I mean, it's not always boys. It's like, you know, but please, like, we don't need to.
The audio.
I get that perspective factor. I think we also need
It
to
is interesting that it's never second.
have a place.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, I'm
Really talking about sex. It's not necessary at any age.
Just because their minds are on it all.
Yeah.
Because we had a middle school teacher
Time
on
of-
the visit.
So I just told her, I'm like, I let it very vague. I don't want to talk about
I
it.
understand you.
Got it. From here on out, I'm your mouse.
Be careful.
It's agreement, yeah.
Yeah, it does. Okay, so like I said, I am going to take these. This is where our feedback notes are gonna come from. I'm also going to take anything you leave me. So when I'm not gonna do it right now because you can turn it back around so you can read it if you want. I do want to give some opportunity for this group discussion. I don't think that we have time to go over every single indicator, every single point. But if there is anything big, alarming, pressing, something that you absolutely want to have the group discuss, now's the time. Go ahead.
I didn't write it over there, but one of the things, even when this came up before, and the language was much more alarming. I was in San Diego at a National School Board conference, getting a lot of texts. But I think one of the things when it comes down into the schools, having taught elementary school, they're such little misogynists. And so like, they'll say, well, boys can't have long hair, girls can't play with trucks. You hear that all the time in elementary school. And even when I taught upper elementary, I was like, yes, the girls are gonna play basketball today. Sorry if they're not as competitive. You get some girls that are very, Jess was competitive. I have a granddaughter that's very competitive at 9, but a lot of them are, anyway, so they get, without the terms being used, very gender classist. And I always read it as more, hey, if boys want to be a nurse, if girls want to be a truck driver, whatever, so I don't think you have to get big time into I think it comes up in first grade, regardless of gender. And I think we focus too much on that word, that I don't think you need to talk about it as much. I think as the curriculum plays out, it would be more in class discussion. Girls can do what they want to do. So that's just observation from an elementary school teacher.
And I had shared this with a couple of you, but when you look at protective factors against violence, you look at one of the most important ways to protect people from gender-based violence is to start breaking down traditional gender norms. And so I think doing that in an early way, but like you're saying, it doesn't have to be this explicit thing about male versus female or boy versus girl, but really just starting to plant those seeds that like respecting people and not coming from this place of like, well, girls can't do that or boys can't do that. And really just, and just to your point, I was like a kid, Eli, he had his hair really long, beautiful long hair. And like, he was getting picked on, why are you going in the boys' bathroom and that kind of thing. And it's just like, why is your, girls, but anyway, it's happening still, even in 2026. So I think any way that we can bring in those subtle messages of just that constant drip of respecting each other, being kind to one another, kindness goes a long way. And then where it makes sense to kind of talk about regardless of gender, regardless of like, if you're a boy or girl, you can be what you want. You can, go to school where you want. You can play sports, whatever.
And I think that's important because it kind of gets left off after first grade. Like, I do feel like that's something that should be in each of these grades. And I saw comments for that, so I know.
The theme of kindness and respect is what you're saying.
Yes.
You want to see
Because it
here.
stops and then comes back in 5th grade.
Yeah.
Where is dignity and respect?
And dignity and respect also, yeah.
Real big. in green.
Yeah.
I love it.
Not just respect towards other people, but respect to yourself. Yes, yes,
Being
yes.
kind to yourself.
yes.
We were talking about, the language of family is brought up very often, especially for pre-K and kindergarten. And then I was talking that trusted adult isn't vocabulary that's introduced until fourth grade. I think it should be introduced a lot earlier than that, especially for our trauma surviving students who don't have families. Exactly.
Or the family they live in, or their family isn't safe.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Do personal body safety in third grade, or it was kind of moving down to second grade?
Personal body safety, the third grade indicators, there's 2. Sorry, I was planning on having it pulled up and I'm having technical difficulties. All good, all good. I'm just gonna walk over here and steal. So we just have the defined consent in third grade and recognize the importance of body language, social context, clues, empathy. So there's just boundaries and consent in third grade. They're the only 2 indicators,
Because, I mean, we always taught personal body safety
starting in third grade.
as a third, and it
And
looked
that's
like they were gonna take it down to second after I left third grade, but I guess that didn't happen, but
the second grade indicators have
They don't, yeah.
it's not very much.
just respect and personal boundaries.
Yeah.
Well, because it was separate from family life, completely separate. And it just
Okay.
went through like physical, emotional, and sexual abuse without, that's why I noted over there, when they talked about private parts, it was always
The
defined
bathing
as
suit.
those covered by the bathing suit. And that left it that, it didn't even get into the naming. I mean, it was definitely a different, wasn't family life. It was personal body safety. But very much in there, so I just want, if they're still doing that, a long time since I taught third grade, in there, you definitely made lists. Each child would make a list of who they could go to. You know, that they felt comfortable talking to, guidance counselors, coaches, clerics, parents, just sort of.
I think even like having them go through the exercise, and again, that goes back to safety planning, is name the person that you can talk to, now name 2 more, in case, you know, in
Right.
case that person's not available. You know, just really getting them to think through, who are my people, who are the adults I trust.
When I worked at UPS, we had the 5 finger. So I would have any of my kids who I had on my caseload put up their hand and name a person for each finger. And then they would have to remember those people, those are their safe people. So even if it was somebody outside of their home, if they could name 3 teachers and, you know, a coach and a neighbor, that was good for me. And I would have them remember those people. And if like, I mean, just knowing, even if the language is not trusted adult in pre-K and kindergarten, but just knowing your people, who are your people that you can go to. That's so important. I think that really should be introduced before 4th grade. And I love
Oh,
it.
yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I think the issue is that, and I saw it written over there on the papers, is that we talk a lot about family relationships in pre-K, K1 and 2, which is great, and we need to talk about that, but what do we do for those kids who don't have strong families or healthy families or supportive families? And so I think bringing in, who can you count on?
Part of the lesson with those indicators, correct. I am gonna go back to Karen. There's a seeking help within the mental health indicators. Identify a trusted adult at school who can support mental and emotional health in pre-K, and it builds through that content. So there are standards on trusted adults in the mental and emotional health. So I'm pretty sure that's what those were pieced together in that personal body safety as well. So there are indicators on trusted adults starting in pre-K. It's just not listed in the family life that I pulled out.
I think that's where my mind was going, and the idea that, is this somewhere else, and there are.
I wanted to find it real quick because I knew it was. I just didn't want to misidentify where it's found.
Goes along with what you think it ought to be done as a counselor.
Can I just make an,
Yes, yeah.
That's not in the scope of this group.
I guess that's the question we're wondering amongst ourselves here. So is that different? That's not family life.
It's not family life.
So what's that? Social and emotional learning or what?
It's still in health. It's still elementary health. It's just not family life indicator. It's a mental and emotional standard.
Got it.
I just wanted to make sure that you knew that trusted adults was going to be discussed, identified, definition. It wasn't just thrown in there in whatever grade it starts in pre-K.
When looking at like the sequencing for pre-K, I think it's like the second two are good, but I think that they need to come before that first one. Like recognizing that a family is a group of people who can support one another should be taught before they're asked to identify what's special about your family. You know, because when you say family, even adults typically think, you know, the people,
My immediate family.
Yeah.
like mom, dad, those people.
Or
So
indicators.
yeah, teaching like family is just people that can support each other, whatever that might look like, before you talk about,
Identifying.
family any further.
I don't know. I'm still thinking about this. When you say recognize that a family is a group of people who can support one another.
Yeah.
But if this is a kid that's traumatized, how would a teacher teach something like that?
In my classroom, we are a family. We support each other. You know, in this school, we are a family. Like you might have to make it broader to be inclusive.
Got it. So not necessarily your relative.
Yeah.
It does include your immediate family, but not exclusive to your immediate family.
It's anybody that can, you know, support you. I mean, for some students, they really rely on their friends.
Yeah.
You know, your friends support you and that's how they get through.
You see, I see it all through the school system. I love, you know, like Academy of Fine Arts, academic term, when they get to high school, they found their people. Bands,
Yes, yes.
They found their people.
Great to see. So why do we do it as family, right?
I don't know, I feel like for being inclusive, we shouldn't be labeling it as family.
I just take out
Cool. I like that.
people who can support.
Or maybe defining like, what is the definition of family? And
What
then,
does family mean to you?
and then from that say, but that doesn't necessarily look the same as everyone. So you're not getting rid of like the term family, but acknowledging like, this is the definition kind of like societally that we use, right?
I mean, because it's pre-K, so.
Because it
Is
is
it separate from
pre-K,
parents
and then like,
It can be. You don't have parents?
kids who, like their grandparents are raising them or their aunt and uncle are
Yeah.
raising them. So I think like,
Well, the standard does say, I recognize that there are different types of
Right.
families.
Yeah.
And kindergarten has identified different types of families. So I think it is. And then in the second grade, they're talking about explain why it's important to respect all types of families. So I think it does build on that idea that it doesn't just have to be mom, dad, kids. You know, it's.
and maybe like, and I'm sure, I feel like teachers, a lot of times, like in this room, we don't know what everyone's saying, but I feel like there's always gonna be that, or there should be that space to be like, if this is, you know, if you wanna talk to me about something after that's like,
Yeah.
maybe there's something going on in your family that you wanna talk about, like,
Do they still do the question box? Fifth grade family was very important, the question, the anonymous question. box, or whatever. And kids would say, I don't want to talk, I don't want to say this in front of the class. I just want to talk to you. So really important. Yeah.
Most of our teachers are not teaching this until at least mid-year to spring, so they've developed that relationship with their students. Most of them are fully aware of what these students are, what our families look like outside of school before this topic is being talked about. So that's something to be said about that as well.
Yeah, that is.
that's
that
really
is.
good context.
Any other pressing questions?
No, I guess, I mean, we already kind of talked about this, but I was just curious, I don't know if you can answer it right now, but curious to know how they decide like when to skip, like we start a topic and then we don't talk about it for 2 years and then we come back to it in like fifth grade and like what, how does, but then other topics are built on every year. It's like, how do they
Decide
decide?
on the flow? I don't know.
Okay.
I can't answer that one for you.
That kind of goes back to the dignity of respect part. And I think there were a couple things and I think the
You get to third grade and there's two
Yeah, and it's just like-
meters total.
Right, and then it cuts off one, and then that same one comes back again later.
I mean, like, especially given, I imagine like what is a small amount of time to
Yeah.
teach this. So like, what did you say? Like sometimes it's like 2 or 3 days,
Mm-hmm.
you know, to then like, they don't hear it again for 2
Right, 2 years.
Hopefully, it's being discussed every day, whether they're in the middle of math class. or
Right, I would hope
whatever.
so
It's like,
too.
We don't behave like that. That's not how you
Yeah.
talk to,
Yeah.
you know, and I'm sure that's being done, but it just,
Yeah, it's just awkward.
getting the signs all over the, all over the room.
Yeah.
Yes, I did want to clarify, one of the things that we have over here where it says remove human productive systems, which we'll just remove human reproductive systems, get rid of them, right? We had a good run, but why we put that on there is because on the 4th grade indicator for MD1C4.6, it says identify human reproductive systems, including medically accurate names for internal and external genitalia and their functions. Not all female internal and external genitalia is part of the reproductive system, but should be named and identified. And it was
That's the point.
important. We wanted to make sure that we were clear on that. So that's why that's there. I was looking at it and I was like,
Remove the term.
The terminology is what you don't
like
like.
the whole thing out.
Okay.
But remove the term because I think that it's clear on my little
Thank you.
giant Post-it note that I scribbled all over, but that's why that's there, because it's important. We just crossed that part out. So now it says identify medically accurate names, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Without that, you know what you're saying.
Because,
Yeah.
you know, it's
We know.
important. We don't pee out of the same hole. We should all know that, including people who would become women and people who will become men. So they should all know that. It's important.
Yeah, it's a good point.
All right, well, I would love to collect any of your small, I'm gonna get the big notes after everybody leaves, but I'll take any of like small papers that you wrote on that you would like me to have. If you didn't write on it or don't want me to have it, I don't
Same
need
stuff
to
is
take
on
it.
there. Yeah, it's on there.
Any little papers I'll take, and then I can take any, or I'll take the big papers, obviously.
I know, right? I need
So I know.
to.
Okay, I believe we are back to Madam President here to finish up.
Okay.
Sorry, I don't have a projected answer.
Great. What do you want to do? No.
Heads up 7-Up, like.
I don't, can we vote to adjourn or we just have to stay until 11 people show up?
I think we can adjourn. I think we're in good shape.
We're done.
So the plan for next meeting, you'll receive in the email that you get before the next meeting, it will have everything relinked specific to secondary. We're going to be doing the same type of model, looking at the middle and high school in April, so that hopefully, again, when that state curriculum is approved in the spring, we will have all of your feedback to take it to FCPS.
And if something pops up in their mind, they could text Brian or.
Of course, yeah, email anytime. Questions, comments, concerns, if you get home, you're thinking about something, hey, can you add this to the feedback? Go for it. Feel free to email anytime and I can add it. I got an ongoing doc with this stuff.
Awesome.
Other than that, Robin, you are free to adjourn.
Okay, do I have a motion to adjourn? Okay,
Second.
second, okay.